Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse stars Shia McMore, Jake Johnson and Haley Steinfeld and is directed by Bob Percy-Shetty and Peter Ramsey. Miles Morales is Spider-Man, but only in his dimension after the Kingpin creates a machine that is able to travel to alternate universes, and Miles must team up with his Spider-Man counterparts to stop Kingpin's evil plans. This release is from Sony Pictures. They released this year's Venom starring Tom Hardy, which for me is probably one of the worst films of 2018, hands down. Didn't resemble anything close to high quality filmmaking, and it seemed to lump itself in with an endless list of franchise movies that are made with minimal effort, minimal care, and pumped out very, very quickly to make a quick buck off the masses. But here we have Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And what we have now is a film that seems to have broken that trend, surprisingly. Now, a goal I think many filmmakers are going for in this particular genre of film is that they're trying their best to bring a comic book to life. And there's many films that have definitely come close to it. But Percy-Shetty and Ramsey actually do it. The visual style and animation for this film is absolutely gorgeous. It is jaw-dropping. And reportedly on this particular film, there were 180 animators that were required to complete the work for this film, which is a new record for Sony Pictures. And they have done an absolutely remarkable job, and it is one of the best selling points of this film. The spectacle, which is I think an important part of a comic book film, is really taken care of here, and there's some great action sequences littered throughout this film, and there's one involving a train sequence, which of course I won't spoil because spoilers are definitely not my style, but it's definitely taken care of here with, I think, a train sequence that would definitely rival Spider-Man 2 in many ways. But what I also appreciated was the fun that was brought back into the spectacle here. And what we have is humor that is interjected throughout the script at really appropriate moments, which I really enjoyed. And guys, I also cared about the main characters of this film. We have Miles, who is the shy teenager who doesn't really fit in that well at school. He has a close bond with his uncle, but has a distant relationship with his dad. And in his character, we get to explore some different things that we haven't seen in a Spider-Man film before. He's the Spider-Man in this particular universe, but just because that he has the abilities to be Spider-Man, it doesn't necessarily mean he knows how to use those abilities. And so what it sets up is a coming-of-age tale that is done with a little bit of a twist, which I really enjoyed. We also have Peter and Gwen, which are characters that we've seen in other films before. But once again, the film does some different things. As we're dealing with multiple universes and timelines and things like that, the film does explore some different sides to these characters, and the interactions between the characters in this film is another great selling point. Now, I love science fiction in films. In fact, some of my favorite films of all time are science fiction, but I love it when science fiction films can explain their science completely and quickly. Now, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse manages to do the latter in that it doesn't get too bogged down in its explanations of what this machine can and cannot do. However, some of the science in here is a little bit flimsy and will definitely have some people scratching their heads as to the rules of this machine and what it can do with multiverses and the space-time continuum and that sort of thing. So it works in the sense that it manages to not get too bogged down and allows us to spend more time with the characters, but it is a little bit confusing in that respect. And there's also a point in the film where Aunt May and some other characters like Spider-Man Noir, for example, come in, and unfortunately their screen time does not allow these characters to be properly developed. There's also an anime girl and Spider-Pig as well, but I honestly couldn't tell you what their names are. Now look guys, this is easily one of the best Sony comic book movies that we received in some time due to a great effort from its cast and crew to really put in a great effort to making a great film here. I think fans are going to be really happy with how this story has been brought to the big screen. I think casual enthusiasts are also going to have a great time with this film as well, as this film does reference some earlier, older Spider-Man films we've received before. So I thought that was a really nice touch as well. This really makes for a fun, enjoyable movie-going experience, but it is somewhat flawed in some of those respects, as I mentioned earlier in this review. But it is definitely worth checking out.
Oh yeah, I got one of these too. There's a little shed where I keep my spider gear.
This place is pretentious.
So guys, don't forget to flick a like and subscribe and hit that little notification bell as well if you really dug this review. And also in the comments, let me know what your favorite Spider-Man film is of all time. More reviews coming soon, guys. It's a little bit hectic at the moment with the Christmas period, but I'll definitely try and pump out as many reviews as I can through this busy period. And until next time, guys, don't forget, a weekend watching movies is a weekend well spent. Thanks for watching.